bedtime. As your home evolves, so should your broadband.
Magic speaker, why's that man in our house?
Vodafone Gigabit Broadband, superfast fibre direct to the home from Ireland's favourite mobile network.
And with the improved defensive performances that Unai Emery is seeing from Arsenal, can they be the first side to stop Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the FA Cup?
Well,
you like that one.
Well, you know, Chelsea, you hope
forward
so.
In your chair.
Yeah, but you hope so. But I think that I don't think Chelsea's the game to judge their defensive prowess, because I thought that Chelsea were pretty poor attacking wise, and I kind of almost played into Arsenal's hands. And plus, Arsenal did press them really well. I thought he'd done well with the diamond with Ramsey on Jorginho, but I thought that Chelsea were very lacklustre. This was a fantastic goal, 3 great touches. I thought Chelsea were very lacklustre. They didn't have no edge. They didn't have no cutting edge at the top end. And I think that Arsenal took full advantage of that. And, you know, it was good to see. Man United will be a different proposition because they're going to have pace and power and thrust up front and intelligent midfield play, which will cause Arsenal the kind of problems that Chelsea didn't cause them.
The thing is, though, that they have the same flaws that Arsenal have, which are defensively. It's the 2 worst defensive records in the top 6.
Yes, but they come from different trajectories. You know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has taken over a team that had lost its identity and that was playing not really to its own strengths, and has just done a few sensible things and said, you know, we have so much pace up front, we have young players that can run, let's just play the way that we have to do that, rather than having them so far behind, away from goal, that they're ineffective. And you have to say that the matchup is a perfect one for Man United, because Arsenal have defensive issues. They've been too open at times, and they've particularly struggled on counter-attacking situations against pacey forwards. And all these things will come to the fore when United, full of confidence, full of momentum, will really fancy their chances. So I think that this is a really bad and tricky game for Arsenal, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually continues his run.
And with another defensive injury for Arsenal in Hector Bellerin.
Such a shame, real shame, because he just started to get himself going. It's such an innocuous one as well. And when you see it like that, you know, you see how he goes down. It's just like it's just so horrible to see, because you know instantly, because he's not being tackled or anything, you know that is quite serious, and you can see it straight away. And it's really sad to see, because, you know, like I say, he was getting himself going. And, you know, when you look at who we've got in reserve, Lichtsteiner and maybe Jenkinson, doesn't look good for us, but maybe Maitland-Niles might play there. But like I say,
Maitland-Niles has played pretty much everywhere, hasn't he?
Yeah,
at various stages.
He's somebody who could probably fill in that gap. But, you know, with Hector, it is a real shame, because it's an injury that's sidelining for the rest of the season.
But not just a shame for him. Can it affect the team then? If Unai Emery is saying defensively we're just starting to click, and you're saying that Hector Bellerin as an individual is just starting to click, can it affect the?
Well,
I
think if he did say, listen, losing Hector is a big loss for us, because he's going to have to bring someone in who's not a natural right back. Lichtsteiner, it's not gone well for him, and we've seen what's happening with Jenkinson as well. So you have to say that yes, it will be a loss to us, simply because of what he gives us going forward. And what he gives.
Hey guys, it's Roz from National Bun Feeder, and today Innocent and I are bringing you a delicious recipe. This is blueberry and almond baked oatmeal. Right, we need a mixing bowl and we need a baking tray. What we're going to start off with is our oats, obviously. I'm going to use a little bit of maple syrup. You can use honey here as well. I'm going to pop in a little bit of grated apple. I'm also going to mash a banana. Okay. Our banana nicely mashed, not too pureed. And next I'm going to use my Innocent almond dairy free. Now I love this, it's really natural with only 3 ingredients, which are spring water, almonds and a pinch of sea salt. A few more ingredients, pinch of cinnamon. I have some chai eggs here. You can see it's super gloopy, and that is what we're looking for. So just give it a stir around, mix all the ingredients really well together. I'm going to pop in my blueberries and my chopped almonds. And I'm just going to pour this in. We're ready to set up the oven for 40 minutes till it's nice and golden on top. Oh, that smells so good. Guys, you know where to check out the recipe. Do not forget to tag me and Innocent Ireland with your recreations. Do not forget to pick up a bottle of the almond dairy free with only 3 ingredients and a good source of vitamin E. So guys, it is time to dig in. Okay, might be a little hot. This is so good. But it is also all mine. You guys are going to go and have to make your very own.
Just in defence as well, but it's a situation where he's going to have to make sure that he gets somebody in there who can understand what they're doing and try to make sure that we're solid on that side, because Man United will probably, maybe Sanchez, I could feel Sanchez maybe coming in and playing from that side. It could cause a lot of problems for us.
And the thing is, we know that they can't go into the transfer market other than to sort out loan deals. They're talking about bringing in maybe 2 players that way between now and the end of the transfer window. What we don't know, Raf, is who's picking the players that they're going to be bringing in, because there's been change there as well with Sven Mislintat due to leave the club.
Yeah, I mean, initially it was Mislintat and Ralston Leahy, the director of sport, and Ivan Gazidis together choosing Unai Emery and sort of shaping the strategy of the club going forward. But then with Gazidis, I'm not quite sure, leaving to AC Milan, the power structure was bound to shift, and effectively Ralston Leahy has become the new CEO in all but name, running the show. And I think it's almost natural that he wants to bring in the people that he trusts, and, there are differences in opinion. It's a different culture. You're German. You're used to one way of working. You are Spanish. You're used to a completely different way. It doesn't necessarily have to be seen as a big clash and terrible arguments, but the fit no longer was right without Gazidis being the guy
so
that
good
could,
they named him twice.
Yes, could bring them all together.
Yeah.
And he's no longer there. So I think that the relationship between Ralston Leahy and Unai Emery is a very tight one. They'll be working very, very closely together. But the bigger concern is the constraints that they're under, because they obviously don't really have that many players to choose from. If it's only loan players you can go for in January, automatically you're looking at players who are, for one reason or the other, not really performing.
Yeah.
Because they're the only players that will be let gone in January.
Yeah.
So it's a very difficult position to strengthen from.
Yeah, and also all that long-term planning that's gone on amongst a group of maybe 3 people. Now, when 2 of those 3 aren't there anymore, suddenly you're looking at something that's a much more short-term decision. So it's important to Unai Emery to make sure that the team spirit amongst those who are there is very strong. And to that effect, he's taken them paintballing, which is miserable. Oh my, have you been paintballing?
No, paintball.
It's awful.
I used to love paintballing because you weren't allowed to shoot at like heads and stuff like that, but everybody would go around trying to shoot at everybody's heads.
Emery got hit 3 times, and he won't tell anybody who did it. Or they won't tell him.
It was Mesut. Mesut would have done it. But it's
would he have hit him?
Probably. Mesut would probably be able to hit him.
Assisted someone.
Yeah,
that's what it is. You look at it, it's a bonding session, isn't it? It's a team bonding session, and I think that you can take some positives from the Chelsea result, because they did play with a good intensity. And then, again, you go to something like that and you do get situations where you end up speaking to people and talk to people in a different environment, and it can help. And maybe that's why he done it. And I was quite pleased to see that he did do that.
One of the players that they have been linked with, talking about bringing in players between now and the end of the transfer window, is PSG's Christophe Nkunku, who's apparently, according to BBC...
Let's see. Mentor Box, a company me and Alex started, did 37,000 yesterday. 1,086 recurring payments yesterday, 457 customers. Today we made 33,000, the day's not over. 1,358 payments, 246 customers. Not bad. 8-figure business. Yeah. I see people posting on social media. Does Ty know anything about business? I don't know. Well, I spend 10 minutes a day on that business.
Thing or two, trust me.
That's e-com little side business doing
Just
8 figures.
Just a thing or two.
Alex, though, is the PhD with MBA. He started, but you did drop out of Berkeley.
I did.
And he started a business that does $175 million in revenue. So
yeah.
Sometimes you just got to show people. Sometimes people just talk crap and like, oh, you don't know anything about business. Well, people lie, but numbers don't. So if I told you I know about business, I could be lying. But if I show you a Stripe account, that's not even all the revenue.
Yeah.
From just one business that I spend $10 million, 10 minutes a month on. It's not just how much you make, it's how much you make for the time you put in. So I put an hour a month, let's say, which I don't, but if I did put an hour, maybe now I do an hour a month or so. Yeah. Let's say you do 8 figures in 12 hours a year. You know, it makes
a good return on investment.
Good return. So I like other things besides business. I like life. I like travel. I like reading. And so I'm not the best businessman in the world, but to my critics, post your numbers. And then, you know, but don't just post your gross revenue. Post your revenue per minute worked. That's what I care about. You know, yeah, you can grind 17 hours a day and hardly sleep and drive your body and health in the ground. But as the saying goes, what does it profit a man to gain the world and die? So to me, it's just your most precious unit of measurement is your time. So always measure, especially you entrepreneurs, how much you're making per unit of time you're putting in, per unit of life energy, you know? So good luck out there. I hope you do way better than me. There's always someone better. It's like basketball. I grew up playing basketball in the projects. The second you think you're the best one out there, someone's better. Someone comes and whips up on you. You know, I never think I'm the best business person, but at the other end, I ain't the worst. Not many people have an 8-figure side business. That's one of many businesses. So, you know, keep focused on your own thing. Criticize other people less. You'll do better. Trust me.
BBC reporter David Ornstein, Arsenal want the loan and the option to buy, and PSG want cover and a new contract before the loan. Do you know anything about this? Is this one got any grounds to it, do you think?
Well, I mean, our colleague David Ornstein is
the guy.
He's the Arsenal man. That's why normally I would just say there have been reports, but it's worth pointing out that it's him.
It would fit the kind of profile because you either have to go for someone who's in the first team and not performing, which is not a great start, or you have to go to sort of the fringes of a side. There's somebody who's a little bit young, can't quite get into the first team yet, but has tremendous potential. The problem is that you wonder, does that really solve any immediate issues for Arsenal? I see Arsenal's problems at centre-back.
Yeah.
I think the full-back positions, especially without Hector Bellerin, are questionable as well.
Both of them. Both of the full-back positions.
I think if you don't have the individual class at centre-back, it then makes it very difficult to play this kind of proactive, risky pressing game that he so clearly favours. And that when it works well, makes Arsenal a very good side. So it's a bit of a catch-22 situation here. And you only have to look at how long it took for Liverpool to find the individual quality that then, at the back, to then made the whole team work perfectly at the front, to know that this is not going to be an overnight thing. And I think Arsenal are a little bit hamstrung to get things immediately right in January. And you have to fear for them a little bit, I think, when it comes to 4th spot.
It was unorthodox, but he was there to be unorthodox.
It was enjoyable from him. So Laurent Koscielny could be a major factor in Arsenal's improved defensive performances. Are we putting too much? So, I mean, we talked about the fact that it wasn't a particularly toothy Chelsea display. So are we putting too much emphasis on Koscielny's performance in that and on the difference he's made to the defence?
I mean, you should never judge a team on one result.
But that's what we do every week. Otherwise, we don't have a show.
No. We look at the deeper underlying performance metrics and stuff. I think that he is important, and he used to be very important because Arsenal always struggle a little bit for defensive organisation. So someone that can organise, that can people what to do, is of huge value at any club, but maybe more so at Arsenal, where the defensive side of things used to be neglected somewhat. I think now experience, stability, all this kind of stuff is good, but the real thing that Arsenal need at the back is pace.
Yeah.
And he's not really solving that problem. And I think it might be much more exposed by Man United and the kind of players they have than Chelsea did or neglected to do the other day. And I think that's where my big fear is. Against many Premier League sides, I think it won't be such a big issue. But against United in particular, with their fast players, I think Arsenal might struggle at the back.
Could be a problem.
that FA Cup fourth-round tie against Manchester United is tonight. We've had so many good games between Arsenal and Manchester United over the years in the Premier League. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been reflecting on their rivalry.
That's the one fierce rivalry that's on a football basis. All my years when I played, it was always between the two of us. They would.
The winter heartwarmers. Love every bird.
The closest rivals. They win the double, we win the treble, they win the next year. And the games against them were just fantastic. You know, we had a great team, but they had a very good team as well. Obviously, Arsene and the Gaffer, they're the two longest-serving managers in my era, and they were fantastic, the two of them, like an institution in their club. And of course, it's going to take time. But Unai, I think they beat us when he had Sevilla. They beat Molde in the European Cups. I've had the pleasure of meeting him before. And I think they've made a very good signing there. He's tactically very good.
It's 13-8 he scored.
High energy. And you can see I don't know what team he's going to play. He's got loads of different tactics to come up with against. So I think they've made a very good signing.
A very good side. He talks about the tactical flexibility of Unai Emery. Has his tactics, have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics, been more straightforward than that, or has he been cleverer than we've given him credit for?
I think that we can't underestimate the value of Mike Phelan there as well, with the experience that he's had being under Sir Alex when Sir Alex was there. But I think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in and he's done something with the players that everybody else, apart from Mourinho, could see. He's actually given them the freedom to play. I feel that he's probably pulled people like Martial, Rashford, Pogba, Lingard and just told them in that offensive, just go, just play. And you're seeing that. You're seeing them playing at a lot quicker tempo, pace. You're seeing players trying things, doing things. It's a million times different to what we saw with Mourinho, and he's just giving them the freedom. It's, you know, you're hearing people saying things like, yeah, but I could have done it. I think I heard Paul Ince saying he could have done it. He couldn't have done that because Solskjaer's ego is not involved in the whole thing. He knows what it takes for Man United to be brilliant.
Are you saying that your friend Paul Ince has an ego?
Just a little, just a slight one. And, you know, people like Paul Pogba getting forward, getting in the box, causing problems, you know, the pace of Rashford. And, you know, Actually,
I was just laughing at the timing because you said the pace of Rashford just as Pogba was up to the spot.
You know, but like I said, like even this goal here, it's the confidence that he's showing. And, you know, we saw him a couple of weeks ago set one up for Pogba with the confidence and the skill. And now he looks like somebody who, again, looks like a frequent and regular goal scorer.
It's the player we sort of hoped he would be, isn't it?
I think we forgot how good he was because we hadn't seen enough of it and hadn't seen it as frequently as we'd expected. And when you look at the number of goals scored and you relate that to his age, he's on course to be one of the all-time greats in the Premier League.
Yeah.
But in a way, you think, you know, where has this player been and why haven't we seen him over the last 12 months or so? It's almost a shame that it was maybe kind of a lost half of the season, or lost 1.5 seasons for him.
Yeah.
Now, with the extra game time, with the extra confidence and conviction that comes from a manager who believes in you, believes in your style of play, who plays, has the team playing to your strength rather than making you adapt to something that you don't fully believe in, or maybe the rest of the team didn't fully believe in either, will bring out even more of his quality. And he is amazing. And it's almost as if they have a new player. I mean, it's kind of one of those cliches. You know, we have a new signing, but it almost feels like that, seeing him and Martial as well, playing at that level again.
Solskjaer has intimated that he will change things around for this game against Arsenal, which means that we could see Alexis Sanchez. We will see Alexis Sanchez. He said that he will play some part in this game against Manchester United just over a year after he made the move to Manchester United. Are you nervous about seeing him against Arsenal?
Yeah, absolutely, because he's somebody that He's got unbelievable ability. We was expecting him to do a lot more than he's done at Manchester City up to this point, but it's not quite worked out for him. But you can see even the position he's in there, those are the kind of positions that's going to worry. Again, you see him in the centre here. I think he scores the header here. He's somebody that can get in the box and can score. He's somebody who can definitely create, and he's somebody that will definitely cause Arsenal problems. Because when he's playing in situations like this, he can pick the pass, he can get himself into the box, he can assist, he can do everything. So he's somebody that, if he's on form, he's the kind of person that is going to be absolutely a nightmare for Arsenal.
Is he also a player that's suited to that new approach from Solskjaer and Mike Phelan?
In a general sense, yes, because as an attacking player, you don't want to be isolated, you don't want to be left alone. You want to have 3 or 4 players as a reference. First of all, because they take away some of the defenders, but also you want to have players to give them to. You want to be involved. You don't want to be feeding off scraps, as many of the attacking players for United have been. I'm still not convinced that even in the Man United there's necessarily a natural position for him. Yeah. I think they're happier having these sort of wide strikers, if you will, who don't necessarily hold a certain position, but have the freedom to interchange, create space for Paul Pogba to run into as well in difficult areas. And I think Sanchez's game has become more static over the last few years. I don't know if it's injuries that have taken its toll, but he's lost that little bit of explosiveness that he used to have when he first came to Arsenal. So I think it'd be tough for him, even in this new regime, to find as enough involvement and presence that he perhaps would have hoped for when he went there.
But then you see him today, because he could be somebody, Raf, that they use with someone like Lukaku, because both of these two players, they can slow it down a little bit for Man United. And instead of it going like we've seen with Rashford and Martial, it can really go forward at pace. Sanchez likes to hold the ball, have touches. Lukaku sometimes, I believe he should be on the shoulder more. He's somebody I believe that with Sanchez will be able to find him like we saw in a couple of those clips. So it could still work against Arsenal.
That deal, when it happened, felt like almost a perfect solution for both clubs. Have either of them, do you think, been satisfied with what they've got out of it?
Well, I don't think Arsenal's got too much out of it, if we're going to be totally honest. And Man United, with what they're allegedly paying him, I wouldn't think that up to this point they would believe that they've got value for money yet. And I can't see how it's going to get any better for Sanchez, especially, like Raf said, the way they're playing, it doesn't seem to suit his style. So, and I don't think it's one of those deals that's worked out perfectly, because even if you look at Mkhitaryan, who was involved in the deal as well, it's not really worked out for him as well. So, unfortunately for everybody, I don't think it's been a great deal in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it's far from what either side would have wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to be driven by Sanchez in a way, and then Mkhitaryan was kind of the makeshift, although his agent would probably tell you the story the other way around. But it hasn't really worked out. I think Sanchez potentially gives you more, but in reality has given you less than Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan has been more of a factor and has done some good stuff, especially in Europa League, where he's had an impact and might still be a very important player for them. But it's not an ideal situation, especially if you consider the wages that both of these players take up, which shackles you a little bit when it comes to bringing in improvements.
Well, pretty much every week, Arsenal and Manchester United challenging each other for a top 4 position. Chelsea currently occupying that, but this weekend, Arsenal and Manchester United going in the FA Cup 4th round. That match is this evening. Coming up next, though, we're going to hear a little bit more about the man who's in charge of Southampton. We sat down to talk with Ralph Hasenhüttl.
Dixon, don't forget to get in touch with us using the hashtag PLToday on Twitter. Any questions you've got for myself or Lee. Back end of the show, we'll do our best to answer as many as possible. Right, let's get to Lee's favourite subject, Arsenal Football Club. Great win last time out against Chelsea, put them right back in contention for the top 4. What did you notice different about Arsenal last week in that performance?
Well, there was an energy about them. There's been a few times this season where, and certainly the Tottenham game at home in the league and against Chelsea, there seemed to be a spark, and the fans are now talking about, we're back on it. But I think with what happened after the big long run of being undefeated and then almost dropping off the edge of a cliff with performances and results. They're a bit wary now, the fans. They're waiting a little bit. They understand that it's not all rosy in the garden. That
it's not perfect, then, is it?
No, and there's a lot of work to be done. I think they like what they've seen so far, but there's still that sort of looking back, going, it's still not that different. There's a lot of positives going forward, and
the manager's been a positive though,
absolutely,
hasn't he? Generally, because he's been happy to make changes mid-game. He'll change the system. He'll change the person. He'll make big decisions, leaving Mesut Ozil out, for instance. That's a big call, and he's done that a few times now.
And he's changed the mentality on the training pitch, which, as you know, is a massive thing. If you're going in from Monday to Friday, and there's an atmosphere in training that's competitive, and you have to be accountable for your actions in training, doesn't half pay out on the Saturday. On Saturday, that had fallen away a little bit under Arsene towards the end, and I know for a fact that that's changed, because I've got people on the inside who are still coaches there who explain that what's going on the training pitch is really encouraging. So over a period of time, that will translate, and it has done to a certain extent on the Saturday, but still a lot of work to be done.
Two of his key players, Aubameyang and Lacazette, haven't played often together as a pair. I think they've done it 2.5 games. They've played together up top. Why has he been reluctant to play the two of them together, rather than, because Aubameyang's played out on the left a lot of the time?
I think his preferred system is 4-2-3-1, which would suggest that one of them's got to miss out, and Aubameyang's a little bit more mobile, a little bit more of a striker / winger look about him, the way he moves, etc. And a bit like Thierry Henry, like he likes to move down that left-hand channel.
Drifting on.
And drifting, get onto his right foot, all of that sort of stuff. So that type of movement for him suits that. But I think the more that the season goes way line,
but if there's defensive problems, you're going to try and chop and change. You're going to try a 3, aren't you? Try a 4. You've got to try different things, haven't you, if you've got those issues?
Absolutely, and I think it's led now to playing at the 4, and obviously changing the system against Chelsea with a little diamond enabled him to play 2 up front. So I think that's very healthy that you've got different systems. And I'm sure the two of them, I know they're big friends off the pitch.
Wide areas personally, and that's what sort of in the lot.
Not everyone has done over the
I mean, look at me and you. We
just have to get on with it, don't we?
But it does. On the flip side of it, it does help if you are big mates, and they are big mates. They spend a lot of time together off the pitch. They're always laughing and joking in training. Every time you see a training session, they're always giving each other a hug and jumping onto you, because they play a similar game. They both love scoring goals.
Different characters, though, actually, aren't they, as well?
Absolutely.
Let's have a look at it then. Let's have a look at them last week and why it was so successful then for you against Chelsea.
Well, I think that I think they had enough space in the real supply line areas. They've got runners off the ball. They love to run. Have you seen, I mean, Lacazette's run there, it's an unselfish run. He might think, I'm running into the corner flag, but he knows his mate at the top of the screen. He's going to be trying to get round the back of it. So
it's what Man United did against Tottenham, wasn't it? Split the 2 centre forwards, played, I think it was Lingard.
Sitting outside the top 4 at this moment in time.
Yeah, when you look at Romelu Lukaku, this is the second start that he's made under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer since he came in, and the only start he's had actually is against Reading. This is a chance for him really to come out and prove himself.
And what a stage! This is a magnificent stadium. Like most Premier pitches, it's an absolute bowling green out there. What I'd like to see Lukaku do, he is a proverbial What I'd like to see Lukaku do, you want to see him proverbial you know what, knocking people out, putting himself about, using that bulk, and he's got to hold it up. That's using that bulk, and he's got to hold it up. That's one of the things that I really got upset about him. When the ball's knocked up and it comes back to it. He's an international top player, Belgium 3rd in the world. He's got to hold up better. He's got to presence up there.
What about Paul Pogba, Stuart? Because we saw at the World Cup, he knows how to lead a team out, and he's got star quality as a world-class player. We're starting to be reminded of that now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he said before, he's worthy of captain material. He's not captaining today, it's Ashley Young. But do you think that he is a future captain again of Manchester United?
I think only the people behind the scenes see that, how they interact on a daily basis analysis, what they do on the training pitch, what they do in the match situations. But what I would say is it's never been in doubt the quality that he's got. He's got an abundance of quality. For whatever reason, the start of this season, the kid weren't at it. There's no doubt about that. When he does fire, which we've seen over the last 4 or 5 weeks, he's been absolutely outstanding.
These are 2 new managers, both of them respectively at their clubs. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has the opportunity here to stake a claim on this job. At the moment, he's a caretaker. What would Ole have to do to get the job permanently?
Well, it's an interesting one, but if they could beat the Arsenal tonight and get a nice home draw, suddenly you're dreaming of Wembley winning the FA Cup. You know, Champions League still very, very much on, especially with the confidence that United are having. And top 4, you know, if he gets any one of them, crikey, I think it's going to be so difficult not to give him the job full time.
I think it's Champions League. Gets him in the Champions League, the groundswell of opinion will be from the terraces, give him the job.
All right, we're going to get more reaction from you both shortly. First of all now, let's cross over to John Norman. He's at the Kensington Oval in Barbados for an update on day 3 of the first test between England and the West Indies.
409 now for 6 West Indies. They're piling on the runs and the misery for England, who now trail by 621. 2 full days of this match to go. It feels like West Indies batsmen Dowrich and Holder have been batting for 2 days. And it's hard to believe that 18 wickets fell yesterday and the score's 61 for 5 when Dowrich came to the crease. He's 115, but really we're waiting for the captain, Holder, 197 to reach 200. Once he does that, as he takes another single into the offside, surely that will be that, and he will call his side in. A declaration is imminent here in Barbados, where the West Indies are 411 for 6.
West Indies versus England on Talk Sport with Viagra Connect. Erectile problems are more common than you think, with 4.3 million men in the UK experiencing issues. Men reporting occasional and frequent difficulty getting or maintaining an erection. Kantar 2010 survey of 1,033 men. Viagra Connect 50mg film-coated tablets for erectile dysfunction in adult men. Contains sildenafil. Always read the leaflet.
You can listen to exclusive commentary of every ball on the first test over on TalkSport 2 now if you want to. Now to start the countdown to Cheltenham early, and I'm sat next to a man who enjoys Cheltenham very much. Racing TV are giving you the chance to win tickets to the champion day of the festival, as well as a chance to walk the course with legendary jockey Ruby Walsh. So to enter, head over to the TalkSport competitions website and find out more details there. Now kick off here at the Emirates, and the FA Cup 4th round is coming next. It's Arsenal versus Manchester United, and it's live on TalkSport.
The FA Cup on Talk Sport with Sun Football. Pick up the paper for the latest results, news and gossip. We live it.
Oh, is that a Labradoodle?
Yeah, it is. Is yours a cockapoo?
Schnaudel.
Oh, so sweet. I'll tell you what, all the rage though. Churches, body of a lurcher, head of a chihuahua.
Oh, nice. Chowskis are very popular too. Chow Chow and a husky in one. Not great for the vacuum cleaner, but...
And for those that don't do popular choices, the Jaguar F-Pace Black Edition, with panoramic roof and 20-inch alloys as standard. Search F-Pace Black Edition. Jaguar, a breed apart.
Available on selected models until 31st of March 2019. Terms and conditions apply. At participating retailers while stocks last.
Now is the perfect time to take a fresh look at Homebase in the big kitchen sale. Because right now we've got half price on all Homebase kitchen doors and drawer fronts. And if you buy a kitchen, we'll give you an extra 10% off the entire kitchen and the appliances too. Plus an extra 10% off any of our range of Hotpoint or Indesit appliances. Hurry, don't miss out. Offers end 29th January. Make your house a home you'll love. At Homebase. Does not include cabinets, trims, end panels, handles and internal accessories. Excludes clearance outlets and closure stores.
Jacob, you're the calmest wedding photographer in Kent. You take rain, missing aunties and stroppy bridesmaids in your stride. There's only one big day that strikes fear into you. 31st of January, the deadline for your tax self-assessment. With QuickBooks, self-assessment is a doddle. You can snap and sort tax-deductible receipts and automatically track your income, so you always know how much you owe, giving you time for more pressing matters. Like enough with the confetti.
QuickBooks, backing you. Visit quickbooks.co.uk to get started.
Doesn't January seem to go on for ages? At least it gives me time to catch up with all my friends. Luckily, at the Co-op, you can pick up any 2 delicious pizzas in the Co-op Irresistible range for only £8, including the Irresistible Prosciutto Cotto Mushroom and Mascarpone Pizza. Another big January deal. 467 to 502 grams, £5.35 each. Participating stores subject to availability.
Imperial Car's first ever national clearance event is on, meaning you can get genuine savings against Auto Trader market values on every clearance car. With over £500,000 worth of reductions group-wide, your perfect car could now be closer than you think.
You're never far, never far.
You're never far from an Imperial car.
From an Imperial car.
ImperialCars.co.uk.
Win the ultimate football experience with TalkSport and Papa John's. Register your details online now at talksport.com/competitions. And if your team nets 2 or more goals during tomorrow's game, you can win a top flight fan package, including match tickets, accommodation, and spending money. Results. The ultimate football experience at talksport.com with score twice, half price from Papa John's. 50% off pizzas when your team scores 2 or more goals. Sign up now at papajohns.co.uk/football. Terms apply.
This is what a tawny owl sounds like. This is what Alan Brazil's head sounds like. This is what real sport sounds like. Online, on your radio, and on your case. Talk Sport.
Well, here we are at the Emirates. It's Arsenal taking on Manchester United in the 4th round of the FA Cup, and the music has just started to pump out. It's starting to get very exciting. I don't know how you guys feel about it. Alan Brazil, this could be a huge occasion for both teams. Stuart Pearce alongside us, and also Sam Massaface is going to take us through commentary shortly. But these two teams know how to win the FA Cup, know how important it is.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, I was just thinking, I've never played here, Highbury. I love playing at Highbury. I don't know if we used to, but the atmosphere there, they're right on top of you. The dress rooms, the marble and all that. And I know when they eventually moved away from Highbury to come here, there was a lot of moans and groans, but give it another 10-15 minutes, Laura, when this ground is packed and the United supporters are way to our right, and there's many of them, just over 5,000. It's a magnificent stadium, Stu.
I think these cup games are better. You know, the away attendance is slightly bigger than the league games in the main, and the away support is what brings the atmosphere to all the games, I think.
A little bit on the away support, because it's a dubious one tonight, because Manchester United's allocation has been stripped down a little bit, and this is, we understand, I heard this from the Arsenal press officer earlier on today, that it's a safety reason, because Manchester United fans notoriously like to stand, and the areas in the top of the stands, they don't want to risk them tipping over, so they've reduced the allocation, which actually can affect the game.
Well, I'm not, listen, I can't go against that, because safety. But you've seen the game last night, was there any Spurs fans sitting at all? I don't think so.
No.
By the way, have you been at the DJ here? This is just ruining my night, this music.
As soon as they see my name on the list, they put the Clash on, and just to your right-hand side, Deck has got the biggest deck I've ever seen him working at, and I think he's doing the DJing tonight. We pulled our own.
It is a good atmosphere already. Let's talk about what this cup means to each respective team. Unai Emery is following in the footsteps of the most successful manager in the FA Cup in Arsene Wenger. Do you think that he has a grasp yet of what the FA Cup means to the fans?
Yeah, I do. I really do. You know, the outlook is different now. He's looking at that top 4 place without a doubt. And I think someone said earlier, if you got him in the dark room and said, what would you prefer, top 4 or go out the FA Cup? Of course he's going to say top 4. But you remember, you know, for me, when I knew I was coming here tonight, I remember that Alan Sunderland goal. Graham Ricks checking back and his right foot out wide, whipping one in. Alan Sunderland at the far post, 3-2, get in there. Fantastic. Aye, the lights have gone out.
Look at that.
That's down to Stuart's music.
I tell you what, it feels a little bit like we're at Molineux, because the lights have just gone down and now they're pumping out even more exciting music that perhaps is not on Stuart Pearce's playlist. And there's some flashing lights going around the top of the stadium. Everybody's getting ready for it. They've got their cameras out. There's people on the pitch. They're really building up the atmosphere here, actually.
They're building the atmosphere up, but the tunnels outside better hurry up, because it's only half full, to be honest.
Stuart, Arsenal's season already, would you say that they're overachieving? They're in a period of transition. It was a change of a change of culture, really, wasn't it, when Arsene Wenger left and Unai Emery came in? Do you think what they've done so far is actually more than what was expected?
No, I think they're about where they are at the moment. They had a good squad of players here. If that squad of players cannot be in the top 6, which is where they're at the moment, they're not anywhere near potentially going for the league title. I think they'll miss out on Champions League places. So I'd say, 5th or 6th finish is probably where I expected from him, with recruitment crucial in the summer, and then from that have a tilt at the 4 next year, the top 4 next year.
And he's not being given that much support in terms of funds that we see other clubs getting more money and the chance to buy in this window. They're not being allowed that. It's loan moves at the moment.
Well, I think when Arsene Wenger was here, a lot of people were pointing the finger at Wenger for not spending, and I don't know how much, they were talking about they've got multi-millions in the bank, Arsenal, and all that game. And, I think Wenger done brilliantly for this club, shielding them from the criticism for not spending. And a new manager comes in and you think, well, OK, how much financial clout have you got? And the answer is probably not a great deal.
When you look at what Unai Emery is trying to do with Arsenal, he's almost ripping up the rule book, changing everything, all the culture. When you compare it to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his reign since he's come in, he's almost trying to re-establish their identity.
Oh, without a doubt. I think Ole came into a job that was filled with stars, World Cup stars, Laura. And all he had to do was galvanise them, get the best. I say all he has to do. Jose had a problem doing it. Ole's done that so far. Emery, I think, like Stuart says, there's still a long way to go from the Arsenal. I look at that side now. When you talk about the Petit, the Vieiras, Ray Parlour and all the boys, no, they're not in the same class. I'm sorry. 2 boys up front are special, but then I'm struggling a wee bit. So as far as I'm concerned, he needs money to challenge for the top 4. To get anywhere near City or Liverpool, he's got to spend 100 million. I'm sorry.
Has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer really been challenged yet, Stuart? He's had a run of 7 games now that they've won. But this game tonight could be perhaps his biggest test yet.
I think it will be. I mean, you might say Tottenham was their biggest test, and to be honest with you, if it wasn't for their goalkeeper, they might well have been whacked 3, 4, 5 even. This will be another big test for them, but the more victories you put behind your name, the more confidence it builds up within your group, the more you come out on top of marginal games. And tonight, I think, will be a marginal game.
But there is some seriously dramatic music. I don't know if you can hear it in the background. And there are banners out welcoming the Arsenal players out onto the pitch, and indeed the Manchester United players too. Do you think we're going to see the Arsenal that showed up last weekend against Chelsea?
They've got to. They have to. You're under the lights, midweek, FA Cup, Man United in town. You can't shirk this challenge. If you're an Arsenal player, you're rubbing your hands with glee. This is a great opportunity to play at your best.
And also as well, what you got to quantify, Arsenal have saved their best performances for the Emirates. It's on the road that the performances have got a little bit shaky.
Can you imagine the respective managers going into a game like this, into the change rooms before they even came out, and getting their team up for it? I mean, would you barely have to say anything to get your team up for a match like this?
Laura, I don't know what it's like now, but I remember, going back to my days, there was things getting booted over, and come on, there was doors getting booted. Imagine what Stuart was like in his prime. Holy, there was a joiner on standby for doors and windows.
What do you think, Stuart? What was it like in your day?
Very quiet. With Brian Clough, he used to walk in, and 10 minutes before the game, he used to sit everyone down, and no one said a word. Literally nobody, until we went out showing.
Just a quick update. Bolton have taken the lead at Bristol City. We are going to keep you updated with all the scores as they are going on.
Now, let me tell you, we were the opposite Ipswich. Butcher and Mariner, they're 2 screwballs. I promise you. They were bashing everyone. They were kicking everyone. And when the teams lined up, they were into the opposition as well. They were nutcases, honestly.
All right, I'm looking out on the pitch now, and both of the teams are out. They are lining up. They're getting ready for this one. It's the 4th round of the Emirates FA Cup, and these 2 teams have provided some incredible moments in history of this competition. Will they create even more fireworks again tonight? It's Arsenal versus Manchester United, and your commentary team for this one, the wonderful Alan Brazil, the legendary Stuart Pearce, and of course the immaculate Sam Matterface.
Thank you, Laura. Good evening, everyone. What a history these two have. The 12-point chase of 98 that saw Arsenal win and snatch the title by a point. Their double followed immediately by United's treble. Cup finals, pitch battles, glorious Giggs goals, Vieira and Keane, and pizza throwing contests. Wenger and Ferguson traded barbs, jibes and titles before Arsenal wilted to such a point where they could happily trade a glass of wine and the odd player as well. It's different now. The title looks as far from United as it has become to appear every year for Arsenal. Maybe this trophy can be their salvation. Before we start proceedings tonight, you'll understand that everybody across the FA Cup third round this weekend will pay tribute to Emiliano Sala, the new signing for Cardiff, who sadly disappeared whilst flying to join up with his team for the first time, and the pilot Dave Ibbotson. These two have given the FA Cup some memorable moments. I've got a memorable duo in the commentary box tonight. There's UEFA Cup, League Cup medals and a host of World Cup caps in the cupboards of Stuart Pearce and Alan Brazil. Live and exclusive to national radio, it's Arsenal against Manchester United in the fourth round of the FA Cup. And Arsenal in red jerseys with white sleeves, white shorts and white socks attacking the goal away to our right in the first half. Manchester United in dark blue shirts, shorts and socks with gold trim, shooting from right to left. Cech is the Arsenal goalkeeper. Maitland-Niles, Sokratis Papastadopoulos, Koscielny and Kolasinac are the back four. And then it's Torreira, Xhaka and Iwobi and Ramsey in midfield with Lacazette and Aubameyang. Manchester United have ceded possession inside the Arsenal half. Our referee is Craig Pawson. United with Romero in goal, Young, Bailly, Lindelof and Shaw, Herrera, Matic and Pogba, Lingard and Sanchez back on his old patch, helping out Lukaku in attack. The ball all the way back to five-times winner Petr Cech away to our left. And Stuart, when we were here last Saturday, Arsenal got off to such a fast start, but it's Manchester United who are pressing from the front in the early exchanges, and they've won the first corner of the game.
Yeah, they're outstanding, I've got to say, Arsenal. I've never seen an Arsenal team come out the traps as they did last weekend against Chelsea, and it set the tempo to the game. I'm just looking at Arsenal's formation. We looked at Iwobi and wondered where he would play. He's playing wide left, and we'll just after this corner talk about that.
Here's Shaw in towards the centre of the penalty area, headed away by Xhaka. It works out towards the near touchline and Shaw recycles it. Won by Xhaka again, dabs it down to Lacazette. They're midway inside their own half here when Lacazette spreads the play to the far side, the left, and Kolasinac is running at pace towards the edge of the area. His ball into the box isn't good enough though, and it's easily fielded by Ashley Young. But it was a rapid counter-attack that.
Absolutely. Aubameyang was free on the right-hand side. The ball was a poor ball. He spotted him well but couldn't produce. But that was a great chance, and again it just shows you Arsenal definitely try to use Aubameyang's pace in behind Manchester United.
Bristol City 1, Bolton 1 is the latest scoreline from the game down at Ashton Gate. And remember, we had the cricket over on TalkSport 2 a little bit earlier on. It's still going, I think. When West Indies have declared, though, 415 for 6. They lead England by 627 runs. Good luck. Here's Aubameyang on this near side, the right. Back to Maitland-Niles, who's now joining the attack, onto Ramsey, and then on to Aubameyang again, where it's collected by Maitland-Niles, out to Ramsey, trying to twirl away from Pogba. He finds Maitland-Niles, across comes Shaw, good tackle by him. He plays it against the youngster, and it's out for a corner.
Yeah, just looking how Arsenal have lined up, and we weren't too sure where Iwobi would play. I think they're playing with a back four, two holders in Xhaka and Torreira, and then that two up front with Ramsey in behind, and they've left Iwobi basically as a left winger, which I don't know whether they've identified Ashley Young at all.
I wonder if they're playing with a three behind Lacazette with Aubameyang playing on this right-hand side. What do you think?
Yeah, potentially it could be that, but they've been pretty fluid early on. Ramsey's come over to this right-hand side. Aubameyang's out on the right-hand side now. whether they're looking at that. I think it's really important that Maitland-Niles gets forward and delivers. We talked about him earlier. I don't think his delivery and his timing of his runs has been great in the couple of games I've watched him recently.
Do you know what's great? There's pace all over the pitch, apart from through the centre-backs, isn't there? You know what I mean? I watched Aubame and try to get in the back of Shaw there, and then at the other end, Sanchez just banged himself offside. He's got to be careful of that, but he's desperate to get in behind that Arsenal back four.
And they'll be fluid in attack as well, won't they, with Lukaku peeling out to the right and Lingard going through the centre. But here come Arsenal again. Kolasinac has found Xhaka, tries to dink the ball out to the right, and Aubameyang's first time ball isn't a great one, swept up by Lindelof, who's covering back inside the United penalty area. He chips it to halfway, and then Maitland-Niles guides it back through Sokratis Papastadopoulos to Petr Cech. 0-0 the score. You're listening to Talk Sport. We've played less than 5 minutes, live and exclusively to national radio in the FA Cup 4th round, the first of 7 commentaries over the weekend. We've got so much football for you. We're just about squeezing it all in to 4 days.
I think the flexibility of both shapes will be paramount, and probably the 2 individuals from each team that will dictate that is Ramsey, who seems to be all over the place, and Lingard for United. Those 2 individuals.
Here comes Iwobi into the area, ball into Lacazette, and he was arriving into the box. He couldn't take it into his stride. It came at him quite fast. He was trying to get in between Matic and Bailly, couldn't control it. It spun off his boot and went behind and away for a goal kick.
Normally his first touch is fantastic, but that was a firm ball from Iwobi. Perhaps too hard, but Lacazette, he's got fantastic close control. Not this time.
No, I think what he needed to do was let it go across his body and guide it with side foot into the far corner. Easier said than done, though.
Spicy atmosphere, could be a spicy affair. There's been 5 red cards in the last 8 FA Cup ties between these 2. Both definitely have designs on the top 4, but they can put them aside tonight and just thrash it out in a one-off duel. It might strike a psychological blow for the victor, with only goal difference separating the 2 of them in the league. Here's Ramsey down the right, onto Lacazette. He's now just hugging the touchline on this right-hand side, attacking the goal away to our right. It is 0-0. Here is Xhaka in the centre of midfield, trying to pop it onto Aubameyang. Manchester United win that, but can't break out. Lukaku couldn't hold it up, and it goes all the way back eventually to Petr Cech.
Do you know what, Stuart? I'm looking at Aubameyang. He's an athlete, isn't he? Big, tall, striking, with fantastic pace. He's powerful.
Well, he's a carbon copy of Thierry Henry, isn't he, really? His athleticism.
Big chances as ones you should have a reasonable expectation to score. He's missed 12 of the last 13 big chances he's had, including one against Chelsea last weekend.
It's amazing down that left-hand side, Stewie. They're letting Iwobi have plenty of the ball. Ashley Young's tucking in. He's not going out to meet him.
Here's Iwobi again. On the overlap is Kolasinac towards the byline, low cross towards Aubameyang, who got across Victor Lindelof, but did just enough, the Swede, just to pressurise Aubameyang and managed to stab it out on the far side and away for a throw.
See, that's where I think Arsenal have got their overload. Kolasinac is looking to get forward from left back. You've got Iwobi being high and wide, and that's where the overload for Arsenal when the outball is.
0-0.
Would you do this, Stuart, though? As a centre-back, you say to Ashley Young, get closer to him. Levers, go wide, go closer to him.
Well, that's fine when you're one-on-one, but when you know you've got an advancing fullback coming behind as well, you've obviously got to have an eye on that. So it'll be important, whether it be Lukaku, Lingard, someone's got to track back.
Young into Herrera. He's given the ball straight back to Kolasinac, and Arsenal on the offensive again. Lacazette can't spin and turn. Matic wins it, then Pogba drips it over the top of the defence, and Maitland-Niles has got to scurry back as Sanchez chases after it. He beats Maitland-Niles to it with a lovely bit of skill, turns round and plays it back to the edge of the area where Pogba is arriving. The boos were for Sanchez, as you would anticipate. They come again as he picks it up off of Shaw on the left side. Back to halfway he goes. Maitland-Niles had a little bit of a run around from Alexis Sanchez there. He'll have to be careful because he's got a point to prove tonight. Lukaku might have one too, and he's bursting down the right, and it runs out over on the far side.
Maitland-Niles is quick enough though, isn't he? You know, I watched it closely because Sanchez, when he's 100%, he's very, very fast, but this kid's quick as well.
He is, but I always view him more of a sort of wing-back, don't you, rather than, you know, an out-and-out winger or alternatively an out-and-out full-back.
Oh, without a doubt, Sanchez has got to get him in the box, Stuart, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Twist and turn him, get him in the box, penalty.
Well, we've been playing for less than 9 minutes, and Alexis Sanchez has got rid of his gloves. The gloves have officially come off.
Well, Stuart Pearson, wait for his to come off, because it is not cold.
There's been a lot of talk about my gloves over the last day or so. Thank you very much.
Alvin Stardust was mentioned the other morning.
Ramsey's got a whack in the back of the head. A free kick has been given to Arsenal just over halfway. Just tried to go past Jesse Lingard, and then Lingard brought him down. That yielded the free kick, and then as Lingard was trying to jump over the top of him, he just caught him on the top of his head with his knee, which Ramsey didn't take too kindly. Interesting to see how Manchester United play, not having Rashford at the top of their attack tonight. He's been away in midweek to Paris after recovering from that excellent performance against Brighton at the weekend. 5 goals in his last 6. That means he's the number 1, but also Manchester United just looked a little bit better, haven't they, Stuart, with Rashford up top, and Lukaku now has got to win his place back.
Well, listen, Rashford is a very, very good player that's probably, we're still waiting for him to totally fulfil that potential that he's got. He can score goals, he's quick, and now he's brimming with confidence. He is a wonderful sight in a United shirt.
Ramsey's getting too much of the ball for me. If you're a United fan, someone's got to get closer to him. He's drifting all over. He's going back, getting off the back four. He's linking up with Aubameyang. He's got a free roll there. United have to be very, very wary of it.
I'd say that's his best position. Just let him roam free, get on the ball.
But would you not say that about Ozil as well? Surely that's his best position.
Yeah, but I think Ramsey's more mobile personally. Ozil can probably deliver a slightly better pass, I would say, but for me, Ramsey in this new high-tempo Arsenal outfit is a better fit.
Did they give the wrong one the 350 grand a week contract?
Yeah, it should have been me or Big Al, actually, to be honest with you. But
I'm not taking the drop.
Here is Herrera on halfway. Manchester United trying to come forward. 0-0 the score. No real goal-scoring opportunities for either of the two teams in the 11 minutes that we've had so far. Ball crossfield from Young out towards the left. Shaw takes it out of the sky. Low cross into the box. It's behind everyone. Almost came through to Lukaku, but it was spotted by Kolasinac. Still not clear on the edge of the area. Pogba dives in. It's taken over by Lingard. Back heel to Pogba. Still Herrera has it now. Edge of the Arsenal penalty area on the left side. Just slows it down. Pogba gets the return from Sanchez. Check comes out. The two collide. The ball ricochets off the goalkeeper and spilled out towards the corner flag. Good save by Petr Cech. Good reactions by the goalkeeper. Back to Shaw from Sanchez, and then Matic. Just Arsenal being penned in a little bit here by Manchester United. And Herrera from Bailly's pass. It wasn't the greatest pass from Bailly. Lindelof. Matic on halfway now, tries to wander past Aubameyang, and then I don't know what Matic was trying to do there, but it didn't come off. He's fired it straight out of play and away for an Arsenal throw.
Yeah, I think if United are cute, they'll put a lot of pressure on Arsenal's right back in that area on that occasion, make the Knowles trying to beat Pogba on the edge of the box, which isn't a wise thing to do.
Torreira let him run. Lovely 1-2 from Pogba, but Torreira stood still. A better return pass, he was in.
Well, they do love Lucas Torreira here. Played more games this season than anybody else in an Arsenal jersey. He's got to keep tabs on Paul Pogba. Here is Iwobi over on the left-hand side, guiding it back for Arsenal to Xhaka. Xhaka tries to push it into the centre forward, Lacazette. Arsenal gave the ball away there, and Manchester United had the opportunity to spring Jesse Lingard in pace.
Sanchez is raging. He's raging. Twice United could have got the ball to him wide. Maitland-Niles is up the pitch. Sanchez was free.
As I say, they're leaving 3 up or 2.5 and just waiting for the turnover of possession, United.
Now, they've got to make sure that they exploit that. The pace that Manchester United have got has certainly helped proceedings since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been in charge of the team. Here's Pogba trying to get to the edge of the box. He goes down under pressure. The referee says play on. We do have VAR tonight, but it wouldn't intervene for that. It's cleared away by Xhaka, picked up by Ramsey. Was that handball? Across comes Shaw. Matic has got it back. Lacazette fights for it and wins it. Arsenal turn it over, and now they come forward. Galloping down the right is Aubameyang behind Lacazette, and tied it up by Herrera. And Sanchez gets it, wanted to give it to Lukaku, then decided against that, came back to this near side, and Manchester United have allowed Arsenal to turn it over.
Are you surprised? They seem to be playing Lukaku on the right side of that three-man attack, you know, rather than be down the middle. It's Lingard who's probably hovering in the central position a touch more.
There's definitely space here, Stuart, isn't there? Lukaku was screaming for that, and just before that, down the left-hand side, Sanchez twice should have been picked out. So the goal's coming.
I think if you leave 3 players up, or certainly 2.5 players up the pitch, you've got to, on turnover, look to play the out ball in behind straight away.
If Manchester United do that, as they did against Tottenham, they'll find themselves in a position where they can isolate the centre-backs of Arsenal. You think Rashford got in 2 or 3 times in that game at Wembley before he eventually scored what ended up being the winner. Here is Socrates Papastadopoulos, just right of the centre circle, inside United territory. Across to Xhaka. Xhaka down for Aubame, who controls it just about, chests it, brings it back in field. Xhaka takes over again. Here's Lucas Torreira, the diminutive Uruguayan, just slotting in on the edge of that centre circle. Back to Koscielny, and then Torreira again. Aubameyang drops deep to pick it up, followed by Shaw. Space out wide for Maitland-Niles. Socrates gives it to him, and then they go all the way back to Koscielny, deep inside Arsenal territory. Arsenal really started well at the weekend, down that right flank in particular, but no Bellerin tonight, obviously, because he's picked up an injury that will rule him out for the rest of the season. So Maitland-Niles might have to get used to playing in that position on the right side of the defence. Here's Aubame, back to Xhaka. Then on to the left-hand side where it's touched on by Kolasinac to Ramsey, who stops it from going for a goal kick, and Pensman in down by the corner flag where it's out for a Manchester United throw.
Sure, United getting plenty of bodies behind the ball, aren't they? You know, when Arsenal were getting at Chelsea, United just inhabit there. We'll flood the midfield. Plenty shots back there for United.
Yeah, they're getting people back, but they're still, you know, very much leaving that couple up the pitch for the counter-attack, which I quite like that tactic, especially when you've got some real pace up front that United have.
We are mob-handed tonight. The Moose is on the touchline. How have the managers been reacting in the opening 15 minutes?
Hey Sam, Unai Emery hasn't sat down. He's like trying to move players around like a chess piece. Meanwhile, Solskjaer, Carrick and Phelan, they're managing by committee down here.
Maitland-Niles down the right side. He's right in from the touchline now, running at Luke Shaw. He moves towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Aubameyang takes over, can get it under control. And he's just been floundering in recent weeks. They feel he's lost a bit of confidence, and you could just see with that touch there, it didn't look right.
He's unlucky there because he plays the beautiful ball down the touchline for Maitland-Niles and then bursts a gut to get in there. And he was actually travelling too quick to try and get the ball under control. Unlucky.
Foul on Socrates Papastadopoulos, which leads to a free kick. And it's Jesse Lingard who's been putting himself about a bit at the top of that Manchester United attack. He hasn't scored since the Cardiff game, the first game of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure.
He could have a problem here, Socrates. He's gone down and he's jarred his knee as he landed on his left leg. I think he could have a big problem here, you know.
Sure, these pitches now, these modern day pitches, you know, they're woven with nylon at the bottom. I've always said that it's beautiful to play football in, but there's not a lot of give. And I think that's why we got a lot of joint injuries. I really feel that it doesn't give enough. Don't get me wrong, when we were playing, some of the pitches were diabolical, but I don't think with as many jarring as what they get now.
No, without a doubt, the game's that much quicker as well. He's jumped up and he's sort of jarred and flexed his landing foot, and he looks in a great deal of pain there, that left knee.
I don't think he's going to be able to continue. They're going to have to warm up Skodra and Mustafi pretty quickly.
You know what that is, Stu? That could be the old ACL, I hate to say, because he's sort of fallen back on it. I hope not. He's in agony, isn't he?
He's just turned and gesticulated with his left hand that he's twisted that knee as he's gone down. He is in an agony. He can't stand up properly. They've got him to his feet, but he doesn't look in a particularly good way. And Unai Emery has sent Skodra Mustafi sprinting down to the corner flag away to our left just to make sure that he's ready if required. It's not worth taking a chance on, is it?
Yeah, he's jarred that bad, and I pray to God it's not ACL. Well, because he fell backwards, and that's how you do it, because basically the knee bends the wrong way. Instead of going forward, it bends backwards, and that snaps it or strains it. Let's hope he's okay.
Well, listen, the way he's moving at the moment, it's not even a case of don't take a chance on it. He looks as though he needs a stretcher to come off rather than walk into the touchline.
Well, I don't know why they do that, Stu. You know, if that's a serious one, he shouldn't have any weight on it.
Well, he's slowly but surely coming up towards this near side. I think they're going to have to make a change. I mean, he really is in pain. His hands are up by the side of his face. He's had big long-term injuries before, and, you know, you get the feeling when you look at him, he knows that something is serious here. I mean, he's not even off the pitch, and he's bent down and tried to articulate an issue to Unai Emery. But at the moment, Arsenal are going to be reduced to 10 men as we get back underway.
It was nothing as well, wasn't it? He fell awkwardly challenging for the ball.
Yeah. We've played 24 minutes in this first half. Are you listening to Talk Sport? 20 minutes in this first half, and it is Arsenal 0, Manchester United 0. But Arsenal have a issue here, and it is with Sokratis Papastathopoulos. And they're still making a judgment call on it on the touchline as the ball goes up towards Lacazette, headed away by Lindelof, and then it goes out towards the right-hand side. Matic back to Bailly, and at the moment he's coming back on.
I can't believe it.
He's come back on, turn round to the bench and give it that symbol, get me off.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
Why would you do that? You're at the heart of your defence. If you let your team down now and cost a goal.
Shocking.
Well, now he's come down onto the floor and he's told the near side that he needs to make a change, so we'll go down to the Moose and find out exactly what's happening.
Yeah, it was senseless sending him back on, because the minute he got on, as you rightly say, he said he wanted to come off, and now he's being surrounded by his teammates. Mustafi's the man who's going to come on and replace him.
Interesting. Did they bring him back on to make sure the game would stop while they made the substitution, do you think?
I don't know, but you're playing with someone's... You know, I think it's a serious injury. It would not surprise me we don't see him again this season.
Sure.
Well, I think it looked to be guided more so by the player than the actual medical staff, because they are very, very careful nowadays. He's ended up running back on, but I think he's just been very, very fortunate that the ball didn't come in his direction at all while he was out there for those couple of seconds.
OK, so Shkodran Mustafi is coming on. I don't think he's the leader of the defence they hoped him to be, but he might have to be.
Why is he not ready, Stuart? Why is he not ready? This does my head in. You can see, if you see someone going down like that, you're quickly off, you're up and down the touchline, just in case. If you have to sit back down and he stays on, fine. But he's only just now getting ready to come on. Joke.
No, I totally agree with you. If you're following the game, you know if someone goes down in a position that there's every chance you're coming on. And he is the ready place for a replacement, really, isn't he?
But it's a real problem for Arsenal, this central defensive position, because they've already lost Rob Holding in that role. Koscielny's only just come back from a serious Achilles injury. That's been an area that they haven't been able to get right. We already talked about it before the game, that defensive unit is the one that looks the weakest for Arsenal. And it's weakened now. Here is Lukaku down the right side, and he's being tracked by Koscielny out to the far corner. The cross has come into the box. Alexis Sanchez has tried to dab it across the face of goal. It hit Aubameyang. There was half-hearted appeal for a handball. He's then run into Luke Shaw, wanted a free kick, and given the ball back to Manchester United because the referee has declined. It's still 0-0.
I hope by playing Aubameyang out wide on this right-hand side that it doesn't diminish some of his potency. I really do. I think he's better suited straight down the middle where he can work off the shoulders of defenders.
Bristol City have taken the lead in the game against Bolton at Ashton Gates, 2-1. Here on the left-hand side is Shaw, a little dabbed header in front of Maitland-Niles trying to set up Pogba. Across comes Mustafi, a strong tackle by him, his introduction to the game.
Bristol City flying, aren't they? 1-0 down, 2-1 up. They're going great guns for Lee Johnson.
Snuck up there as well, haven't they? And this is in a situation for them where they want to continue their run. Here is Lukaku just going in behind the back line of Arsenal, but the offside flag is up over on the far side.
I thought he was in there, Stuart. It was a lovely ball. Just Arsenal holding the line very well. He just strays half a yard off. It's very tight.
That was very tight. You're right there. Good movement by Lukaku.
When it's that tight, I thought they would let it go and let VAR deal with it. But Chris Kavanagh, by the way, is our VAR back in Stockley Park tonight. Didn't have to get involved in that situation. Ball played forward then by Arsenal, who yet to test Sergio Romero away to our right. Aubame tries to outsprint Young, can't do so. Young takes it towards the byline, turns and fires it out for a throw.
He's not brilliant, Young, isn't he? You know, for his age, he's still rapid, isn't he?
He certainly was then. Aubameyang's not slow. He pushed it and thought, I'll take the old fella on, see what happens, and he matched him stride for stride.
Old fella, 33.
Yeah, in this day and age in the game. That's how Aubame views him, don't worry about that.
Yeah, he's 11 years his senior. Here is Aubame on the edge of the area. Matic goes across, tries to get it away from danger, but can't do so. It comes back via Xhaka out to the left, and Kolasinac on to Xhaka now, who's trying to get the ball into the box. Oh, lovely ball by Lacazette into Aubame. First time shot straight down the front of the goalkeeper.
Oh, Aubameyang, surely that's a square ball. Aubameyang has a tap-in for me. We see it again, sure, but I thought that was a great move. But watch Aubameyang, he's just to his right. If he'd have just got his head up, maybe. Oh!
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think by cut that line of pass off, I think. But either way, probably should have got a touch more on the effort at goal.
Lingard has just robbed Mustafi after Manchester United have cleared up the other end, and it's come back to Ashley Young. Young back to Lingard, who's in the right wing position, producing a cross to Lukaku, doesn't get there, nor does Pogba, and it seemed to elude everyone and scoot through the 6-yard box and go out on the other side. Retrieved by Sanchez, back to Shaw. Sanchez has got it again. That was a good chance for Manchester United. Pogba on to Sanchez, off to Herrera, and behind and away.
Does he get a head on that? I thought Lukaku got a head on it. It's a hell of a ball, isn't it? Lingard whips it in. Keeper can't really come there. Right along, he just stretches, can't get it. Pogba, almost another half an inch. Both of them get on it.
Yeah, the one thing that they've shown both teams in these early stages is the defences are not on top at present.
Here's the corner, it's the near post. Arsenal kept a clean sheet against Chelsea last weekend, but let's be honest, the woodwork came to their rescue twice, and Chelsea weren't exactly all guns blazing. Here's Herrera down the right, producing a cross. It hits Koscielny and goes out for a Manchester United throw, level with the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. 20 minutes to go in the first half. Stuart Pearce, Alan Brazil, Sam Matterface and Laura Woods at the Emirates. We've been here all day. Adrian Durham and Piers Morgan brought you Drive live from the Emirates tonight. A real flavour of the FA Cup, and we'll continue to do that all over the weekend, starting tomorrow when we've got commentary of the game at the Crown Ground, Accrington against Derby in the 4th round with Ian Dancer and Mickey Gray at 12:30.
That's better from Arsenal there, Stuart, wasn't it? Press, forcing United back.
Yeah, it was. Xhaka on that occasion, who's not shy in putting his foot in. It was pretty late though on that occasion.
Lindelof, Matic. That was something that Arsenal, when Arsenal are at their best, that is what they do, isn't it? They did it against Chelsea, pressurising from the front, making sure that there's no room to breathe.
I think Chelsea played into their hands a little bit by trying to play out from the back continually, and it just encouraged Arsenal. United are not that way inclined. If they get pressed, they'll go back to front a little bit readily.
They're not afraid to go longer if they need to, are they?
Well, with the strike force they've got and the pace they've got, the quicker they get supply line, the better.
All the old songs are coming out now, aren't they, as these two rekindle their rivalry. Here's Lukaku right side, back towards the halfway line, and it's Herrera onto Lindelof, who's inside the centre circle. He scoots it out towards the left. It's with Shaw and then Alexis Sanchez, who plays it against Maitland-Niles, and then it took a little flick off the Chilean, and it goes out for a throw into Arsenal. He's not happy about that, but Arsenal are. Unai Emery still standing almost on the pitch as the ball goes back to Mustafi. It was fizzed back to him by Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles is being told by Mustafi, calm yourself, because when Mustafi gave it back to his goalkeeper, all he could do was kick it out of play, and now Manchester United are back on the attack deep inside Arsenal territory. Shaw launches it in the box towards Lukaku. It's cleared away by Aubameyang, picked up by Young, and then Bailly under a bit of pressure volleys it forward, but only found Kolasinac. And here comes Aubame, the Nigerian, now taking it down the touchline on the far side, the left. He's got 3 to aim at in the centre. 6 Manchester United players are getting back here, though. Here's Ramsey. Back to Aubame. Aubame with a chance to cross. He finds Lacazette, who couldn't take it first time. Did turn it out towards the left. He gets it to Kolasinac, back to Lacazette. And then he spins the ball through the 6-yard box. It's an easy catch for Romero. And that's not a great throw by Romero, who was looking for Sanchez on halfway, and he misfielded it, and it went out for a throw on this near side. But that was good combination down the left from Arsenal.
Absolutely, and Lacazette, you know, he just looks, he's so sharp when that ball goes into feet. He's looking for either little layoffs or just 1-2s, but very good again.
Xhaka picked away by Matic, who did well to intervene, and gets it back to Romero, who takes no chances, up to Lukaku. Pogba trying to get on the end of it. Herrera there. Lacazette was ratting around and trying to cause him problems. It comes back for Arsenal, though, down the left with Kolasinac. He in turn finds Iwobi. He's got Ramsey waiting in the centre. Across comes Pogba fighting for the ball, and he smashes it up towards Lingard. And when they do break Manchester United, they do have three up there: Sanchez, Lingard and Lukaku, and Lingard's leading the attack now. On to Sanchez, down the left side of the area, pulls it through the box, looking for Lukaku, blocked by Maitland-Niles, and Arsenal get away with it on that occasion. It seems to be a late tackle by Matic, but Aubameyang has rode that challenge, and he's put Arsenal on the front foot. Iwobi leading the charge. Arsenal coming forward. Ramsey's free in space on the right side if Iwobi can spot him. He's gone further down the left instead and played it against the legs of Young, and it's out for a corner.
So down the left, again down the left for Arsenal, is it? Iwobi, whether he's not got the better so much of Ashley Young yet, but he's causing trouble by running at him and getting little 1-2s.
Well, what they've got, as I said earlier, is that numbers game. Iwobi staying high and wide, Kolasinac getting up, supporting, Ramsey coming and getting involved. All of a sudden they got a number superiority, and on that occasion Matic has done brilliantly there, because he stopped Iwobi coming inside, which he was attempting to do, to play a 1-2.
Here is the corner to be taken by Lucas Torreira on the far side, the summer signing from Sampdoria. He gets it back towards Kolasinac, edge of the area, who shot the ball goalwards. I think there was a little push inside the box, which the referee spotted before Kolasinac pulled the trigger, and a free kick has been given to Manchester United.
Something about Ramsey early on was involved all the time. He's just gone a little bit quiet the last 10 minutes, not really getting the ball to feet Ramsey.
Still 0-0. And we've got 15 minutes to play on Talk Sport. Our live and exclusive commentary from the FA Cup fourth round comes from the Emirates, where Arsenal, the 13 times winners, take on Manchester United, the 12 times winners. Here's Lukaku. It was a long ball for him to chase into the corner. He did that, kept hold of it. Herrera's got it now. He thrashes it into the box, but it hits the back of Kolasinac. Ricochets out to the far side, the right, via Young to Lingard, then back to Young again. Herrera on to Lingard once more before Herrera gets it back, moves to the edge of the box, sets it up for Lukaku, goes to play a little neat ball into Sanchez, who goes round the goalkeeper, tight angle, he doesn't care, he scores, and Alexis Sanchez on his return to the Emirates provides a reminder of what both Arsenal and Manchester United have been missing. You can't write it, can you? Alexis Sanchez, who starts today at the Emirates, puts Manchester United in front. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
Absolutely fantastic footwork and movement by Sanchez. Just waiting to have a look at the monitor. Good interaction on the edge of the box, little give and goes, 1-2s. Arsenal defenders ball watching and static, and the movement brilliant by Sanchez round the goalkeeper, tight angle, bang, 1-0.
By the way, that was not easy. This is brilliant footwork from Sanchez. The run was perfect, checks a big goalie, he goes round him, and even the finish on the right foot wasn't easy. He lifts it up, Mustafi can't get back in time. Do you know what, at the start of the game when Ladbrokes were on 11-2 Sanchez, I thought, I really thought that was a mean 5.5-1, but they knew what they were talking about. That is a quality run, great ball and a quality finish. Game on.
Well, what a start for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He jumps off the bench and grabs Mike Phelan. He twizzles his arm around in the air. Something away to our left has gone off. I'm not entirely sure what it is. Let's go down to the touchline, because the Moose is closer to the action, just above the dugouts behind you. What can you see? Well, I think the answer is not very much. I hope he's not involved in it.
Well, there's one or two little pockets of United fans around the ground. I'm pretty certain that's what it is. You can see over there, Sam, on the far side, there's a few little black holes there where quite clear there's been a little bit of nonsense going on.
Well, we'll keep an eye on that for you, and I hope it doesn't get silly. Manchester United are in the lead, though, with 13 minutes to go before half-time. And
great finish, Sanchez, by the way. Great finish, Sam. That was twinkle toes, and the finish was brilliant. If he'd have hesitated, he doesn't score. It was brilliant.
I think you'd be disappointed with the back line of Arsenal ball watching.
Lacazette charging his way into the Manchester United penalty area. Again, there were 6 dark shirts back there to block him, and they sort of narrowed in on him and closed the gap. And now Manchester United are breaking, and they sprung Lukaku down the right side. He's got Sanchez and Lingard to aim at. He's picked out Lingard, who's shot it into the bottom corner and scored a second goal. It's 2 goals in 2 minutes for Manchester United to put 1 foot in the 5th round of the FA Cup. They've taken charge of this 4th round encounter with a fantastic counter-attack. 2 goals in less than 120 seconds. Sanchez with the first, Lingard with the second, and Manchester United are 2-0 in front at the Emirates.
Well, it's a great ball wide, isn't it, Stuart? And he's onside. The 2 centre-backs are isolated. Suddenly it's 3 against 2, Stuart. Look at that.
Well, listen, you can't get exposed as badly as that, Al. You know that Arsenal have pushed on. Both centre-halves are split the width of the box, and against the pace that United have got, it's absolute suicide.
And look at the time he had. Lingard had time to take it. By the way, it's some finish. He keeps it low, checks maybe a little bit unsighted, but he basically strokes. He passes it into the empty net. Brilliant counter, 2-0.
Well, what a couple of minutes for Manchester United. Jesse Lingard's first goal since the goal that he scored in Cardiff in the first game for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He scored here in the 2-2 in December. He's on the score sheet again tonight. And Alexis Sanchez, who loves the FA Cup, that's his 10th goal and 9 assists in the time that he's played 20 FA Cup ties since moving to England. You are listening to Arsenal 0, Manchester United 2 in the FA Cup 4th round, live on TalkSport with the Sun Football. We live it.
I think this is probably what confuses Arsenal supporters, isn't it? You know, they've had a real up and down couple of weeks now watching their team.
Well, inconsistency has been a problem for them. Yeah. They're much better at home than they are away. Their only defeat in the Premier League this season has come against Manchester City here, but Spurs beat them in the League Cup here, and they have won 4, lost 4 and drawn 1 of their last 9 games. Talk about a roller coaster ride. 10 minutes to go before the break, and Manchester United lead away at the Emirates by 2 goals to 0. Alexis Sanchez on his return to Arsenal, a man who's been out with injury, a man who has been much maligned since joining the team from Old Trafford. He's only scored 4 goals, I think, since he's been at Manchester United. He's hardly really pulled up any trees, but he certainly didn't miss fire when played through there.
I was going to say Arsenal need one back. There's still time. I think they need one back before half-time. I really do, to galvanise this home crowd.
It's amazing when you go in the transfer market and bring a player to your club, you think Sanchez is a good fit. You know, when he went to United, I thought, yeah, he'll be helpful to them, and all of a sudden it's just not worked for him so far.
I think he's got quite a long time on that hefty contract to go. You never know. Might work out for him in the end as the ball goes into the box looking for Lacazette. He goes down inside the penalty area, claiming that he was fouled. VAR will check that. Here is Torreira. Back to Xhaka as the ball goes out of the box. There's still Lacazette down inside the 6-yard box. He might get involved here as Iwobi goes down the left, produces a cross. It doesn't reach anyone, and it's gobbled up by Romero away to our right-hand side. And Craig Pawson just chatting to the other officials who are all mic'd up.
Well, the ball goes very high, doesn't it? He gets the first leap, but for me, no. It's by, he was right behind him. I don't think there was any harm whatsoever in that challenge.
And Lukaku at the other end is again trying to cause problems for the Arsenal defence, the shaky Arsenal defence that concedes so many goals. Both these two teams score and concede in equal measure. That's why they're so entertaining to watch. Well, they are now anyway. Wasn't always the case with Manchester United.
No, and you almost feel sorry for Koscielny. Kolasinac is soldiering on. Koscielny is being pulled out into a sort of wideish left-back position and being isolated one-on-one with Lukaku, who's making it a foot race.
No.
They just can't seem to get a grip in the midfield, can they? You know, when early on when Ramsey was getting it, playing little 1-2s, probing, that's stopped now. It's all down the left-hand side, and that is it.
Here's Iwobi trundling down that left-hand side once again for Arsenal. The Manchester United fans, 5,000 of them away to our right, certainly enjoying their evening. It goes back into Koscielny and across to Mustafi, who's had to come on as a first-half substitute after an injury to Socrates Papastadopoulos. Certainly that will be something that Unai Emery is concerned about. And He just elevates the ball for Koscielny out towards the far side. It goes straight out of play. I mentioned that Manchester United concede goals. They have, but not as many as they were before. They actually started to tighten up away from home, where they've got much better. 4 goals in 7 games they've conceded under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But away from home, they've been even tighter. I think they've only conceded 1 on the road. Let's go down to the touchline and see if we can hear from the Moose now.
Yeah, I believe after the first goal, the incident, Sam, was something was thrown from behind the goal at Alexis Sanchez. That's what I'm being told down here. An object was thrown at Alexis Sanchez.
OK, keep an eye on that for you, and any details the Moose will bring you a little bit later on. Here is Alexis Sanchez to Lingard. Lingard shooting from the edge of the area, never really had it under control, and it goes over the top of the crossbar.
Sure, what does he say? What does Emery say at half-time if it stays 2-0 like this? Has he got to change it? Has he got to change formation?
Well, he's in a difficult position at the moment, because what he's got to go and chase the game to get the next goal. But by doing that, we're almost playing to United's hands. They've caught them on the counter-attack a couple of times and scored. There's every chance they'll do it even more if you go and chase the game a bit more. So, but they've got no choice. They've got to go after the game.
That's a great finish by Lingard, by the way. He takes it early as well, doesn't he, which outfoxes Petr Cech. Here's Aubame down the left-hand side. Arsenal looking to respond before the break. 6 minutes to go. Can they get one back and haul themselves back into this cup tie? Stop it from slipping away from them. Torreira trying to turn. Sends it back wide. Aubame. So many men to try and cut through, though. Kolasinac gets the cross in, took a little deflection off of Young. Half cleared by Manchester United, but only as far as Aubame. Skips it between his own feet, tries to go down the left. Herrera is tracking him. He's shadowing him down that left side of the area. Xhaka on and away by Ashley Young, and they're breaking out again. And when Manchester United break away, you now get the feeling of fear amongst the Arsenal backline, and with good reason as well, because they've got that speed and they've outnumbered them every time. They required Lacazette to get back there, Alan, in order to win the ball back.
Absolutely. Lukaku's fuming. He was free again on that far right-hand side.
Here is Ramsey getting a touch of the ball and guiding it to Kolasinac. Not entirely sure what to do with it here, Arsenal. They're running out of ideas a bit on the edge of the area. Ramsey's going to take a pot shot. It's towards the far post, and it in between Aubameyang and the goalkeeper. Took a little deflection on the way through. It's out for a corner.
Yeah, I think United on turnover can almost play it blind to where Lukaku is. You know, he's operating on a sort of inside right position, and I think you can almost play it blind over the top of the back line, because he's going to win that race against Koscielny.
Here is the corner to be taken by Granit Xhaka, the Swiss international. Look at where Alexis Sanchez is sitting, right on the edge of the centre circle, waiting to break out. It's a short corner into Lacazette. The back heel is not a good one. It's away by Ashley Young, who was fouled from behind by Ramsey. And the idea was right. They'd obviously worked on that, but they didn't execute it properly.
No, it was one from the training ground, wasn't it? You know, it's a lovely little flick if Ramsey reads it, but he doesn't. So he was a little bit slow getting there. But the Arsenal, it's weird that Lacazette's through the middle. Aubameyang's too wide for me. He's got to get in. When the ball's on the far side where Aubame, he's got to get into the box in a more central position. He's too far wide here. He's not getting involved enough to Aubameyang.
Usually at half-time, and it's changed a little bit recently, but almost every single game that Arsenal played, they would make a change at half-time. Do you expect Unai Emery to do that today?
Yeah, I do. I mean, we saw the game against Chelsea last week, and Arsenal almost played with a diamond in that midfield area. 2 strikers were Ramsey and behind them. On this occasion, as you pointed out earlier, that they're playing Aubameyang more on the right-hand side, and he prefers to be down the middle, you know, and threatening the shoulder of the opposition's defence.
They do get off to fast starts under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Manchester United. Second half sometimes can be nervous. They've scored 12 of their 19 goals under him in the first half. Had 2 tonight, and that's a significant total. They were hanging on in the game against Tottenham when they were last in London, and they were hanging on in the game against Brighton at the weekend towards the end as well. So there still might be more to come from Arsenal in the second half. 3 minutes to go before half-time. You're listening to TalkSport. Arsenal have possession inside their own half. Koscielny onto Xhaka, then squirted out wide, where it's picked up by Kolasinac, who ambles forward now. Again, it's down the left for Arsenal, who are attacking in that zone almost exclusively. Iwobi trying to take it on. He finds Ramsey, who's in behind. He jigs into the box. Arriving at the bar post is Aubameyang, and they do get one back before half-time. Well, it's snuck through 3 Manchester United United players. No one took charge in there, and lurking with intent was Aubameyang at the far post, and he popped it in after others declined. And Arsenal are back in the game. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2.
Brilliant from Ramsey. Absolutely brilliant. We talked about Ramsey. He was early on getting the ball across 10 minutes. This is a beautiful move. Again, down the left-hand side, Ramsey gets inside. Brilliant. Gets inside, cuts it across. There's 3 of them waiting for it. Eventually falls to Aubameyang. He's got a simple task. 3 yards out? That is a lifeline. Absolute lifeline. Brilliant from Ramsey. He bursts into action again. Squares it across. Aubameyang far post. Get in there, 2-1.
Yeah, on that occasion it was United not able to deal with Arsenal. Credit to Arsenal, though, as you said, Al, they got big numbers in the 6-yard box and had an overload. So game on now, good time to score for Arsenal.
How would you reflect on that defending from Manchester United?
I think what Arsenal done, and what they've done when they've looked quite good in the first half, is get an overload into that left-hand side area and put numbers there. So all of a sudden United are stretched. So, in an ideal world, if you're defending, you want the extra man. That wasn't the case then.
See, we told you this would be better than going out for Burns night.
I did say 2-2, by the way.
Is that Kenny Burns night? I didn't know he had a national day.
Don't, my legs have just gone.
A minute before half-time, you're listening to Talk Sport, and it is Arsenal 1, Manchester United 2 on this Friday night under the lights in the FA Cup. Tomorrow, Accrington, live on Talk Sport, and then we'll be off around the grounds with Matchday Live and Adrian Durham. We've got 300 minutes here, by the way.
I'm absolutely delighted. The miss has got to go. He's got to leave straight after this game tonight. He's got Middlesbrough tomorrow.
The Moose has got to go to Middlesbrough. Oh, is he going to drive overnight?
He's going to stop at every services for a meal, I'm telling you.
And find that they're closed. Here is Ashley Young on the right-hand side. You better stock up in that press room at half-time.
So this is interesting now, guys. So what does Emery do now? They're back in at 2-1. It's a tight game again. Will he make that change, or will he give it 15 minutes in the second half?
Well, the big thing for me is they can't keep getting counter-attacked by United by leaving Lukaku one-on-one with Koscielny out wide, or probably Sanchez on this side, or an even number. You've got to have the extra man.
Well, Lacazette's made a sprint down the left, and Aubameyang's gone down the right. If they can spring him here, then Man United might be in trouble. They're not, because Matic has intervened and Shaw was well positioned, and they tidy up at the back and get it clear. And Manchester United do want to get in now at half-time with the scoreline intact. Sanchez onto Lingard. Space for Lukaku again down that right-hand side. He's got almost a Hyde Park's worth of grass to run into as he moves into the box and gets it onto his left foot. Tries to play it into Pogba. Didn't get his pass right. Czech collects and throws out to Ramsey. Good chance, though.
He was trying to do the double shuffle there too many times, wasn't he? He forgot about the pass. That was straight in the arms of Czech.
Lovely little audacious pass from Aubameyang down the right, looking to find Maitland-Niles. Maitland-Niles on towards Ramsey via Aubameyang. Ramsey, with Arsenal finishing the half the stronger of the two teams, plays it on to Maitland-Niles. Pogba dives in, misses the ball. Lacazette with an effort straight at the goalkeeper.
Chance, definitely a chance. Not an easy chance, I would say, but great play this time down the right-hand side for the Arsenal. Maitland-Niles, Ramsey again involved. He is the key to the Arsenal.
It's a real lifeline for Arsenal, isn't it? Because leading into that Arsenal goal, you're thinking fairly comfortable second half for United, gaining at half-time, 2-0 up. This has changed the whole dynamic.
Well, it certainly keeps it competitive, and we'll be with you right to the very end here on Talk Sport. Here the ball is on the right with Maitland-Niles. He sent Aubameyang away, down to the byline. He's running unchallenged into the penalty area. He pulls it through the 6-yard box. Luke Shaw comes steaming in and puts it out, and Pogba is turning around to teammates and saying, is anyone going to get down there and help us out in that position?
It is frightening, the space down the flanks. It really is frightening, Stuart.
This is the gamble you take, though, with United, because United, as we were saying earlier, are leaving players up the pitch for the counter-attack. if Arsenal get in and they get in threatening areas, all of a sudden you think, is that a wise tactic? But it's certainly paid off for the 2 goals that they've got.
Luke Shaw's gone down on his haunches. He doesn't look particularly comfortable, but he's got back up and he's going to take part in defending this corner. Keep an eye on him because he's watching Lacazette. Here is the corner from Xhaka in towards the near post. It's away by Herrera, who sends it straight out of play on this near side. We played 2 of the 3 added minutes at the end of the first half, and the ball into Ramsey's a good one. He flicks it across the face of goal. Aubameyang pulls it back for Koscielny, and Young gets in front of him and clears, and then Ashley Young turns round and gives a volley of verbals to his teammates, getting them to think and look, because they do not want to concede before half-time.
It's a great chance. Aubameyang, he knew he couldn't score himself. He flicks it with the outside of his right foot and just misplaces it to Koscielny.
Manchester United just hanging on a little bit here to this slender advantage as the ball goes in towards the back edge of the box. It's cleared away by Matic. Sanchez has air-kicked it unnecessarily and left it for Aubameyang. It's come to Lacazette down by the byline. Can he pull a cross into the box? He can. Mustafi was up there from the corner still, got the header in, but couldn't reach the target. It flies behind and away for a goal kick. And there is the half-time whistle, and what has been a breathless first 45 minutes.